Gems of Buddhist Wisdom. What is this religion? By Ven Dr. K. Sri Dhammananda. Message for all. Every man must have a religion, and that religion must be one which will appeal to the intellectual mind. A man failing to observe religious principles becomes a danger to society. There is no doubt that scientists and psychologists have widened our horizon, but they have not been able to tell us our purpose in life. A proper religion can do this. Man must therefore choose a rational and meaningful religion according to his conviction, without depending on mere beliefs, traditions, customs, and theories. No one has the right to force another person to accept any religion. No one should exploit poverty, illiteracy, or arouse human emotional feelings to induce others to accept a religion. Religion should be a free choice. Man should be free to choose his own religion according to his liking and intellectual capacity. To follow a religion blindly without any understanding would deprive the religion of its spiritual value and the follower of his human dignity. Human beings have intelligence and common sense to differentiate what is right and wrong. They can adapt themselves according to circumstances. They should therefore choose a religion that is adaptable to them and one that meets with their human intelligence. They must be properly guided. Give them a chance to decide freely without any undue coercion. The middle way. The religion that is being introduced in this booklet is a practical educational system for mental culture which was revealed to the world some 25 centuries ago, by a most enlightened and compassionate teacher. This religion is also known as the middle way, righteous way of life, ethico-philosophical system, and a religion of freedom and reason. It teaches us to do three main things, namely, keep away from bad deeds, do good and purify the mind. This message is very simple, meaningful, and practical, yet people experience difficulties when they put them into practice due to inherent human weaknesses. The moral conduct of man plays a most important part in this religion. Its great teacher once said, "My teaching is not to come and believe, but to come, see, and practice." It encourages people to study his teachings fully and allows them to use their own judgment to decide as to whether they should accept the teachings or otherwise. No one is asked to come and embrace this religion blindly without first having an understanding of its teachings. Superfluous rites and rituals have no real religious value or significance. There are no superstitious beliefs and practices or secret doctrines in this religion. Everything is open to the choice of the followers, who are at liberty to investigate the teachings and ask questions whenever they want to clear their doubts. According to the founder of this religion, one should not believe anything merely because a great sage has introduced it or because it is traditionally accepted by many, but one should use one's common sense and intelligence and accept it only if it is worthwhile to do so. This religion teaches that the Noble Eightfold Path, which consists of right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration, is the unique middle way to lead a noble life and allow others also to lead a peaceful life. The middle way is neither a metaphysical path nor a ritualistic path. Neither dogmatism nor skepticism, neither self-indulgence nor self-mortification, neither eternalism nor nihilism, neither pessimism nor optimism. It is a path of enlightenment, a means of deliverance from suffering. This religion does not agree that human beings are suffering in this world today because of the sins committed by their ancestors. On the contrary, every person carries his or her own merits or demerits individually. Man himself is solely responsible for his own pain or pleasure. One who follows the middle path or moderation should find real peace and happiness and should be able to lead a respectable life without being a slave to one's senses, thus contributing to the peace and harmony of the world. Reap what you sow. This religion satisfies man's most profound and lofty aspirations and yet is able to bear the stress and strain of man's everyday life, helping him in his contact with his fellow men, besides giving a purpose in life. It does not instill fear in people. Good begets good and bad begets bad. Every action has its reaction. These are universal laws. This religion fully agrees with these laws, hence people have to reap what they sow. Evil deeds are perpetrated by people due to their greed, anger, and ignorance. Such weaknesses can only be overcome through self-realization. Pleasure and pain which people experienced in this world are not due to some external influences but due to the good and bad actions, words, and deeds which they themselves have committed. For this very reason, this religion says, we are the results of what we were, and we will be the results of what we are. According to this teaching, cause and effect play a very important part in our lives. In a circle of cause and effect, a first cause is inconceivable, for cause ever becomes the effect and the effect in turn becomes the cause. A great teacher. The founder of this unique religion is not a myth but a great teacher who really lived in this world. He never tried to introduce himself as a supernatural being but as a human being who realized the truth, the secret of life and the real cause of suffering and happiness. Today this teacher is not only honored by hundreds of millions of his followers but also by every cultured and intellectual man throughout the world. This noble man, this liberator, this social reformer, this democrat and inspirer into higher living, passed away at the age of 80, leaving behind a noble code for humanity to utilize as a means for the elimination of human suffering, misery, tension, fear, and worry. Consequently gaining happiness in this life and the life hereafter, leading to ultimate liberation of all human suffering. This great teacher comforted the bereaved by his consoling words. He helped the poor that were neglected. He ennobled the lives of the deluded and purified the corrupted lives of criminals. He encouraged the feeble, united the divided, enlightened the ignorant, clarified the mystic, elevated the base and dignified the noble. Both rich and poor, saints and criminals loved him alike. Despotic and righteous kings, famous and obscure princes and nobles, generous and stingy millionaires, haughty and humble scholars, destitutes, paupers, downtrodden scavengers, wicked murderers, despised courtesans. All benefited to lead a peaceful noble life by his words of wisdom and compassion. His noble example was a source of inspiration to all. His serene and peaceful countenance was indeed a soothing sight to the pious eyes. His message of peace and tolerance was welcomed by all with indescribable joy and was of eternal benefit to everyone who had the fortune to hear and practice it. His iron will, profound wisdom, universal love, boundless compassion, selfless service, historic renunciation, perfect purity, magnetic personality, exemplary methods employed to introduce his teachings and his final success. All these factors have inspired about 1/5 of the population of the world today to hail this teacher and to honor him as their supreme religious master. This noble teacher sacrificed his worldly pleasures for the sake of suffering humanity to seek the truth in order to show the path of deliverance from suffering. He visited the poor people whilst kings and ministers visited him. For 45 years after his enlightenment he had dedicated his life for enlightening misguided human beings. This great teacher feared none nor did he instill fear in anyone. This is one of the principles that should be cultivated in this war-torn world of ours, where the most precious thing, life, is sacrificed at the altar of brute force and where armaments are creating fear, tension, and hatred. He was the perfect scientist in the field of life. He was the perfect psychologist who was able to analyze the real nature of the mind so much so that his teaching was acclaimed as the only scientific religion. To great philosophers and unbiased thinkers, he is a teacher who understood worldly conditions in its proper perspective. To moralists he has the highest code of discipline and he is the symbol of perfection. He was the perfect model of all the virtues he preached. To rationalists, he is the most liberal-minded religious teacher who appreciated the vexed human problems. To free thinkers, he is a religious teacher who encouraged people to think freely without depending on religious dogmas. To agnostics, he is a very kind, understanding and wise man. He was no doubt the most persuasive of all the religious teachers. He never used compulsion or fear as a means of gaining converts. He has introduced a religious way of life for people to be religious even without the attachment of a religious label. He was the humble servant of humanity, unperturbed by either praise or blame, and undeterred even by the most acute illness. Peace, happiness, and salvation. This great teacher has shown the path to peace, happiness, and salvation. His way of teaching is liberal, rational, scientific, and understandable, leading towards enlightenment. Today the message of peace of this great universal teacher is more important than ever before when human beings are intoxicated with anger, greed, jealousy, pride, and world domination. This teacher was born to this world to dispel the darkness of ignorance and to save the world from its ills. Throughout the world many people lived on without believing or practicing any form of religion. However, if they would only take a little bit of trouble to study and understand what this great teacher had taught, they could easily clarify their doubts, if any, and be convinced as to the religion that could best contribute to man's happiness. Whether one believes in him or not, his teaching nevertheless has its effect on all people. His message was given to the world without any violence, nor was a single drop of blood ever shed in its name. This is a remarkable record in world history which could be imprinted in letters of gold. This teaching illuminates the way by which mankind could cross from a world of unsatisfactoriness to a new world of light, love, peace, happiness, and satisfaction. The 25 centuries-old teaching of this great teacher is strong enough to face any challenge without reversing or giving any new interpretation to its original teaching. This teaching does not contradict the achievements and discoveries of modern scientists, which are worldly achievements. Although virtue is necessary for the attainment of salvation, it in itself would not be sufficient. It must be combined with wisdom. Virtue and wisdom could also be compared to the eyes and feet of a man. Virtue can be constituted as a vehicle that brings man up to the gate of salvation, but the actual key that opens the gate is wisdom. Heavenly bliss. The followers of this religion never regard themselves as being the only chosen people who could get the chance to attain heavenly bliss. They believe that man creates his own hell or heaven according to his own way of life, and that sufferings in hell or realization of heavenly bliss can be experienced in this earthly life, instead of the common belief that such conditions could be experienced only in the life hereafter. In accordance with these teachings, it is understood that anyone can enjoy heavenly bliss so long as one leads a righteous way of life. Heaven is not reserved for or to be monopolized by any one particular sect of religious community. It should be open to anyone who leads a noble life. Tolerance and understanding. Tolerance, patience, and understanding are worthy virtues upheld by the followers of this religion. Loving kindness, compassion, and sympathy towards others are not limited to human beings only but extended to all living beings. As destruction of life, be it human or animal, is cruel and unjust, and is against the teaching of this religion. This religion also advises people to respect the other man's views in order to lead a harmonious life. Way of life. This religion is clear and reasonable, and it gives complete answers to all important aspects and questions about our life. It provides a solid foundation to help mankind towards a positive and a better way of life. This religion does not divide mankind into groups, the saved and the lost, but as a civilized and understanding religion it teaches us how to tame the wild and refine the tamed. Followers of this religion do not indulge in petitional or intercessory prayer. They believe in the importance of self-exertion and in the efficacy of meditation that leads one to self-conquest, self-control, self-purification, relief and enlightenment, because meditation serves as a tonic both to the heart and the mind. Man can mold his life. This religion contends that mind is the all-powerful force, the creator and destroyer of man and the architect of man's fate. Therefore, man should be capable of molding anything if he only knows how to develop and make use of this mind properly. In fact, this religion has been an admirable lighthouse for guiding mankind towards peace, happiness, and eternal bliss. It is true that the world today is riddled with racial, political, religious, communal, and ideological misunderstandings. To solve these complex problems, people must exercise the spirit of benevolence and tolerance towards each other, and this can be cultivated under the guidance of this religion, which inculcates ethical moral cooperation for the universal good. Man must come to realize that spiritual development is more important than the attainment of material development for the real happiness and welfare of mankind. They must also practice truth, justice, service, charity, and love if this world is to be turned into a better place to live in. Actuality. This religious teacher, through his enlightenment, declared that the greatest virtue is the virtue gained in the cultivation of universal love. B. The supreme happiness is the happiness derived from mental tranquility. See, the absolute truth is the truth acquired through the understanding of the causes of human suffering. D. The highest religion is the religion that teaches intellectual development, morality, and mental purification. E. The greatest philosophy is the philosophy that introduces a practical way of life that can be followed without depending on theories and mere beliefs. Free religion. This religion does not obstruct anyone from reading and learning the teachings of other religions, because there is no place for fanaticism in this religion. A fanatic cannot allow himself to be guided by reason, or better still by the scientific principle of observation and analysis. Therefore, the follower of this religion is a free man with an open mind and is not subservient to anyone for his spiritual development. If you would care to learn a little more of the religious discipline or moral code of ethics and mental training of this religion, you will find that you would have to withdraw any previous misunderstandings you would have had about this religion. One should not merely judge the value of a religion by just observing certain practices performed by some misguided followers. Instead, one should always try to understand the fundamental teachings of that religion. Credit to man's intelligence. Instead of placing man and his destiny under the arbitrary control of an unknown external agency and making him subservient to such a supreme power, this religion raised the status of mankind and accorded man the credit due to him for his intelligence, and also taught him how to cultivate this submerged human potential. This religion teaches us how to render selfless service to others. Followers of this religion abstain from evil not because of fear of retribution from some unseen being, but because of realization that evil would bring about suffering to living beings. Their motive of doing good to help others is not to please any supreme being in expectation of a reward, but due to feelings of compassion towards others and to release them from their sufferings. Here in this religion you can find the way to perfect goodness and wisdom without any aid from any external power. You can achieve the highest wisdom through realization but not necessarily through revelation. You can attain redemption without the assistance of a vicarious redeemer. You can gain salvation within this lifetime by the judicious exercise of your own faculties without waiting for it to happen only in the life hereafter. Is it possible? Without sensuous pleasures would life be endurable? Without belief in immortality, life after death, can man be moral? Without any aid from external agency can man advance towards righteousness? Without rites and rituals can man lead a religious life? Without emotional faiths and beliefs can man practice a religion? Without suffering through certain religious penances can man attain his liberation? Without creating fear in the mind can man follow certain religious principles? Without using force and threatening others can we introduce a proper religion? Without superstitious beliefs and dogmatic ideas in the name of religion is it possible to convince the masses to lead a religious life? Can a man appreciate and inspire a religion without mysticism, occultism, and priestcraft? Yes, said the founder of this religion, these ends could be attained by service, by purity, discipline, and wisdom. Cause and effect. The realization of the law of cause and effect as explained in this religion, clarifies and helps to solve the problems of human suffering, the mystery of fate and predestination, and above all the inequality of mankind. Understanding of this law gives them consolation, hope, self-reliance and moral courage. Modern religion. This is not a theory or a religion just to believe but a practical and noble way of life. This is one of the oldest religions in history that brought culture and betterment to mankind, yet most modern in every respect, when compared with modern achievements. It advises one not to become a slave to any external power but to cultivate one's own hidden potentialities using one's own effort and intelligence to resolve one's problems. It has every quality required of a rational religion that will fit into the present and future world. It is rational, progressive and reasonable. It will be a pride for anyone to study and realize the value of this religion in the modern world. It is acknowledged to be more scientific than science and more progressive than all the progressive elements in the spiritual field. It is one of the most effective means to be utilized for the maintenance of world peace, harmony, and understanding. No discrimination. It was this religion which for the first time in the history of the world that revolted against the degrading caste system and taught equality in mankind, and accorded equal opportunities for all to distinguish themselves in every walk of life. It was also this religion that gave real freedom to the women to study and practice, a religion that accorded social equalities for the first time in the history of the world. The great teacher declared that the gates to success and prosperity were open to all in every condition of life, whether high or low, saint or criminal, who would care, seek, and aspire for perfection. He did not force his followers to be slaves either to himself or his teachings, but granted them complete freedom of thought and investigation for gaining confidence. Impermanence. This religion classified the living being into mind and matter, which are in a state of constant change, not remaining the same for 2 consecutive moments. Thus they arise and perish, and the cycle goes on. Therefore nothing will remain permanently either in this world or in any other world system throughout the universe. Because everything which exists in any part of the universe is nothing but combination of elements and energies. It is quite natural that these things one day disintegrate and the formations disappear. The nature of the religious principles. The principles observed by this religion are not commandments. By observing the precepts such as abstaining from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, telling lies and taking intoxicating drinks, they could purify themselves and in so doing help others to live peacefully. Our aim in publishing this booklet is not to convert others into our faith, but to enlighten them to seek peace and happiness and to practice their religion according to their own convictions without resorting to blind faith. We encourage every person to practice his own religion properly if he could really find truth, peace, happiness, wisdom, and salvation in it. What we want is for man to lead a respectable religious life without abusing his human dignity. However, this religion may be the answer to many of your religious, spiritual, and human problems, or it may give fresh direction to your thinking on religious and philosophical matters. It may also help you to understand the way of life and cultural heritage of Asia. You may find in this religion the spiritual guidance the modern world needs. This religion brought into the world a new spirit, a new hope, a new path, the truth of which and the necessity of which is seen and felt today as of old. Whatever may be your purpose, we invite you to take a closer look at this religion and ideals of the founder. We are ready to help you. Our organization will guide you in your reading and assist you to obtain reliable reading material. The great religion referred to in this booklet is Buddhism, and the founder of this religion is none other than Gautama the Buddha. Be unbiased, avoid religious prejudices, try to find the truth.